Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to OCD Recovery's YouTube channel. I wanted to make a video today talking about how to basically, start the OCD recovery process or the anxiety recovery process. Hopefully this is your first time watching this. I'm really going to make this video for people who have watched a few of our videos and they really just don't know what to do. Maybe they're confused on how to start breaking down their fears. Maybe they've been to some other people they've been working with, but they really don't know what to do when it comes to progressing, over years and years and years and perspective shifts. So don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button. Please comment down below. I always go through questions and answers. If you have any questions about the books on the reading list, how to do exposures and everything like that, we can definitely go through and break those down. So the first thing I want to talk about in that moment we're speaking about in one of the group calls and then private messages where we kind of go back and forth saying, what would be good for the videos, what wouldn't be. Rob and I do the same thing, is that we are looking at OCD recovery from a lens of there's no direct blueprint. We know things that work and we have a really good idea of what does and doesn't work, but there's no, as Momin wanted me to say, there's no, day 30, I'll be X% better. Day 45, I'll be X% better. Day 60, I'll be X% better. And then we kind of go down that route. That's not really how OCD recovery works. A lot of your recovery journey, you're going to be very, very confused through the entire process. You're going to doubt the recovery journey. You're going to doubt what it takes to get better. You're going to doubt the books on the reading list. You're going to doubt your exposure hierarchy if you have one. You're going to doubt people in the community. Basically, anything that OCD knows that you're thinking, oh, wow, this is really starting to work, that will more than likely be attacked. Not everyone, but more than likely. So the first thing you want to do, in my opinion, is find someone who understands OCD. The key word is someone. It doesn't matter what the title or the credentials are. It's just you want to find someone that understands, whether that be a friend of yours in the community that you've talked to, or maybe you've seen their videos and asking them and then deducting and making your own decisions, whether it's a coach, whether it's a therapist, any of that. There's people in all sorts of realms that understand. There's not just one title of people that understand OCD. It's not just a coach, not just a therapist, not just someone in the community. It just doesn't work like that. The best way I can describe it is some of the best book smart people in finance have never started the business and they really don't know what they're doing. And some of the most successful business people on earth, female and women, got kicked out of school, don't even have a GED. It's just not as clear cut as we like to imagine. After you find someone who understands OCD, reaching out to that person, maybe if they're offering services to help you, can be really important. Do you need a diagnosis? You do not. There's nothing wrong with getting a diagnosis. The diagnosis can be something that, I'm not going crazy in the sense of like an OCD fear, whether it's schizophrenia or going crazy in that, like a neurosis. But okay, there is something wrong with me. I have obsessive compulsive disorder. Maybe you also have GAD and panic disorder. And now we can move forward when we want to get better. And just understanding that alone is such an important part of the recovery process. And this is why we have the community. We're almost at 17,000 members on Facebook, which is incredible. So awesome. We are going to have over 1,000 videos on the YouTube channel soon. We have the webinar services once a week. This week is a cool one because we're doing a guilt one tomorrow. So we'll have 2 seminars this week. Hopefully we work up to a point in the next 3 to 5 years where we can have seminars once every other day, which would be incredible. 12, 15 seminars a month. Then the more they grow, maybe part 1, part 2, and stuff like that. The next thing you want to do is, I highly recommend going to the OCDrecovery.com website and then going under the resource tab and looking at the books on the reading list. So we have How to Stubbornly Refuse to Make Yourself Miserable About Anything, Yes Anything. Claire Weeks' Self-Help for Your Nerves, and Claire Weeks was really the pioneer of anxiety research, 30 years ago. The Myth of Self-Esteem by Dr. Albert Ellis, who authored the first book. Now, Dr. Albert Ellis, for years, was a psychoanalysis and a sex marriage counselor. He still did sex marriage counseling, I believe, in the back end, all the way up until he died in 2007. But he basically invented what they call REBT, Rational Emotive Behavioral Therapy, which is just principles from Stoicism, rational thinking, realizing that your belief system on events, on people, on your fears is what's determining those long-term emotional outcomes, such as depression, chronic anxiety, chronic shame, and all those other negative, unhealthy emotions that you may be experiencing. Getting those books and reading them in order, we put them in an order for a specific reason. The reason why How to Stubbornly Refuse is the first book on the reading list is because that book has practical tools in it to show you how to break down your fears. Simple one, the fear of fear, the fear of being stuck for the rest of your life, how to break that down, realizing that when you're experiencing symptoms, it's not the end of the world. It's not desirable, but it's not as horrible as we make it out to be. That's a really important part of the journey, so understanding that in itself. The second book on the reading list, and then the fifth book on the reading list as well, which is Paul David's At Last a Life, those are really good practical applications for learning how to live with physical discomfort, anxiety, groinal responses, depersonalization and derealization, allowing all those to be present whilst you're going throughout your recovery journey, doing the things necessary to build your lifestyle structures, which is, getting back to work, getting outside, exercising, cooking some of your own meals again, depending on how far you've gone off the wagon. And this will be, a very slow process. Treating compulsions like an addiction. You are addicted to certainty. This is why, one of my favorite things to call is called the certainty disorder, and there's some serious truth to that, some serious merit. And that really was very beneficial to me. Another thing I would recommend is, coming into, whether it's you're watching the YouTube channels, whether you want to join a webinar, and maybe just listening to some people talk. On the YouTube channel, we have people like me, Rob, obviously, Momin, Paul Little, Mark, Alexander, and a bunch of other people that have talked about their journeys and how the principles of rational thinking have been applied in order to actually break down their own fears. And that was really, really critical. And those are probably the most important things in the beginning. But in the beginning, the majority of your journey is, in my opinion, getting those lifestyle structures up, because your belief systems aren't just going to change overnight. It takes a little bit of time to get those belief systems in a place to where, okay, it's going to take me a while to change this belief. How can I start bringing down these compulsive behaviors? How can I stop engaging in avoidance behaviors? Those are a little bit easier for many people. I've come to realize with all the coaching calls I do in the webinar services, realizing that, if someone has a very severe, say, POCD, harm OCD fear, it's not that fear can't be broken down. We know it can. We've seen people recover from that. Sam Williams is a great example. Jade is another great example. People with harm OCD and POCD, with those particular fears, I know when you're suffering, you go, there's no way, I can't get better from this. It's not for me. I thought the same thing when I was experiencing depersonalization and derealization. I had it every single second of the day. It was nonstop, and that was definitely a problem for me because I wanted it gone. And so that first part of your journey is just, how can I educate myself on the disorder? How can I move day by day, learn more about it, stop engaging in compulsive behaviors and avoidance, and start educating myself on the books on the reading list. Those are all really important tools that you can apply to yourself throughout the journey. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, a little bit of a quick start of, what to do in the middle. I'm also going to do another video every once in a while when we have 17,000 members, 18,000 members. I ask, for video topics, and I'll shout some people out for the videos they want to see. And someone had asked for a video on long stage recovery and what that looks like and how does your perspective change. And I'm definitely going to go over that. I think there's not a lot of videos covering what does the back end of recovery look like. How does that, 2, 3, 4 year time frame look from a symptom perspective, from a fear perspective, and everything like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you're interested in the webinar or coaching services, please email phil@ocdrecovery.com. And just, in the title, ask, hey, I'm interested in coaching, I'm interested in webinar services, and then we can help you out. The webinars are a lot of fun. And the beginning of the journey is not supposed to feel good. A lot of people think they're going to come in, read a book, watch a YouTube video, and feel great. You're probably going to feel pretty shitty for a long time. Symptoms will come and go, but the symptoms are irrelevant. I always say, the best thing you can start to learn about is that whether it's a groinal response, a depersonalization and derealization, any physical symptom of anxiety, the feelings of the urges of chronic shame and guilt, Those sensations, those intrusive thoughts, images, urges, everything that are coming in automatic intrusiveness are happening because of your core fear. So focusing on, a lot of people will say in the beginning, understandably so, this is what's happening with me, this is new, I didn't have that. None of that is actually relevant. What's relevant is the core fear that's been there for a while, breaking that down and wearing all the other symptoms as you go about your life. So thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.